I'm Kelly O'Shaughnessy, the Assistant Director of Early Career Engagement and Liaison to Student-Athlete Career Development at the Cohen Career Center. Whether you're looking to explore options for what's next, or you're ready to get started with experiences, the Cohen Career Center team is ready to help guide you through the career readiness process with a variety of programs, events, resources, connections, and conversations. Our team includes both employer engagement and career advising. We can assist you with general career questions, with experiential learning opportunities such as internships and externships, as well as industry-specific advising in business, creative, education and human services, public service, and STEM careers. Paths can take many forms and use a variety of methods. No two paths are the same, and no one path is correct. They can be linear and expected, but more often they don't happen that way. They often embrace the chaos of life and develop over time. Even if a path starts out linear, it can take a turn at any moment. Unplanned and emerging experiences help shape a path as it is being traveled. If open to it, a path can follow many branches, allowing you to design new goals as you discover them. In her book, You Majored in What? Mapping Your Path from Chaos to Career, Dr. Kate Brooks applies chaos theory to career development and decision-making. She states, chaos theory helps us understand that too many variables in a complex system make it hard to predict the outcome. Also, the greater the distance between now and the future, the weaker the prediction will be. It takes into account your diverse interests and broad scope of knowledge and takes advantage of how the job search really works today. Steve Jobs once stated in his commencement speech to Stanford, "Of course it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I was in college, but it was very, very, very clear looking backward 10 years later." So we're going to go through an exercise today called the Career Wanderings Map from the book You Majored in What? To help you discover ways to connect the dots from your experiences. Through this guided reflection, you will find order in the chaos by looking deeper into the connections and themes, both known and not yet discovered, across your life experiences so far. Instructions are in Dr. Brooks's book, but today I'll share with you an abbreviated version of the exercise, while you'll also hear from one of our student career advisors as she shares her wanderings map and what she was thinking about as she was working on it. Just keep in mind two things. One, it will always be a work in progress, and two, there are no rules to how your map has to look. So go ahead and grab a big sheet of blank paper. We strongly encourage you to not use lines or lists and allow your mind to be open while thinking through your memories. We're working with chaos, so just let it flow. You can use pencils or pens, but we find people get more into it when using different colors and even markers. You can pause here to gather these materials if you'd like. To get in the right frame of mind, start thinking about all the interesting and significant things you've done or have happened to you. Go back as far in your life as you wish. If a significant event occurred at age 5, include it. Have you had unique jobs or taken an unusual class? Did you have a memorable summer experience? What are you most proud of in your life? Do you have hobbies you've pursued for a while? What awards or honors have you received during your life? Can you think of a particularly valuable lesson you've learned? What knowledge do you rely on that you've developed from your experiences or education? What successful experiences can you recall? Start writing down your thoughts. At this point, you probably are full of ideas. If something has meaning to you, write it down anywhere on the paper. It's important that you do not try to organize them in any way. Just write them down, draw a circle or another shape around them, and keep going. You can put down 10 items or 40 items. It's up to you. Write what comes to mind, not just what you think is career-related. You don't need to write any long explanations. Just jot down a few keywords. For instance, if you learned something while working at a camp one summer, write summer camp counselor, or whatever the position was. If you have read several biographies of Martin Luther King Jr. and you find you quote him or follow his beliefs, write down his name. There will be time later to expand on your thoughts. You can even draw little pictures or icons if you prefer. The important thing is just to dump everything out of your head and onto the map. In case you are still stuck and not sure what to include on your map, I'm going to give you some prompts that may help you remember key moments in your life. As I read through these prompts, watch Julie share the beginning of her wanderings map. Some objects to consider for your map are computers, musical instruments, books, skateboards, sailboats, or paintbrushes. Events could be jobs you've had, both good and bad, taking a fantastic class, baking for the holidays, acting in a play, or playing sports, family heritage and culture, competitions, places you've lived or traveled, or volunteer experiences. Some important tips are just to not waste time erasing or making it look perfect. Don't worry about spelling, just use short words, phrases, or even pictures. And definitely don't censor yourself with what you think will lead to a particular path. Don't try to organize the experiences just yet. Now the real fun begins. We're going to take a step back and look for some connections. Let's start by making some obvious connections. Look over your map. Would some of the items you wrote down fit in a particular category easily? For instance, did you list several jobs or vacation spots, friends or classes you've liked? Draw lines on your map to connect the different categories. Write down a list of these categories. Can you find at least 5? Watch as Julie begins to find her connections.
Hi, I'm Julie, and this is my career wandering map. Next, it was time to analyze my map. There are certain commonalities between the different things I have done, and there were some initial obvious links between things. I had volunteer experiences like the Haven and Crisis Text Line. I had job experiences such as being a student career advisor, my internships at Sloan Kettering and Hackensack Meridian Health, my teaching assistant position. I had extracurriculars like Tri Delta and club volleyball and being a peer advisor. I had academic interests such as biology and psychology that tie together for a career in genetic counseling. All of these links connect my experiences and are a part of who I am.
Now let's dig a little deeper. This time, you're going to take a look at your map again, but instead of focusing on the obvious categories you've noted above, ignore them and dig deeper to see if you can find some new connections beyond the simple categories you identified earlier. Do you see a thread that follows you from elementary school through college? Is there a pattern in the types of jobs you've held? What might some of your seemingly disparate experiences have in common? What did you learn, or what strengths did you acquire by pursuing a particular activity? Note examples of an interest to a particular skill or hobby. Maybe you've worked with children in one capacity or another for a long time. Maybe you do a lot of physical or hands-on activities such as playing sports or building things. Have you always been the peacemaker in your family or friends? Maybe you've done lots of activities that involve international themes. Can you identify at least 4 or 5 themes and threads in your map? If so, draw lines connecting the different elements from your map. Maybe use a different color and list the themes you found. This part is pretty challenging. Here are some themes to give you some ideas. Maybe you see some awards, or a theme of wanting to be alone or working with others. Do you prefer doing or thinking? Is there a piece of equipment or a tool that you often use? Do you find several things that are indoors or outdoors, or maybe with problem solving? Maybe some themes fall under skills, like analytical or artistic, counseling, creative thinking, leadership or management, negotiating, presenting or performing, maybe thinking strategically. Watch and listen to Julie as she discovers some of her themes.
Lastly, it was time to think deeper about my experiences and what they said about skills and interests that I have. I've had to adjust and change when moving from California to New Jersey and when coming to William & Mary. I've had experience helping and advocating for others through my internship, jobs, volunteer experiences, being a teaching assistant, and a peer advisor here. I've always worked hard and been super involved, working multiple jobs, being in a sorority, playing a club sport, volunteering, and doing other things like being on the STEM panel and being a peer advisor here at William & Mary. I've always been super into fitness. I love Cycle Bar, Orange Theory, and volleyball, and I was vegetarian and vegan for a while. And I think all of these things show that there's been certain connecting themes and threads that have run throughout my life, and all of them make me a more well-rounded and diverse individual.
Once you've worked on your map for a while, try sharing it with others who can help you identify more themes or might see connections that you've missed. Wandering's maps can be even more valuable when someone else helps you see the connections. Share with friends or classmates, maybe family members, or an advisor. Tell them about your map and why you included different experiences. Ask if they see other connections that you missed. If you'd like to continue exploring career options, you can visit the Cohen Career Center virtually or in person. We're located on campus between the Sadler Center and Zabel Stadium. To schedule an appointment, you can either call 757-221-3231 or visit Tribe Careers. We hope to see you soon.